Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Kodeations. In today's video, we're going to be jumping back into some Cookie Run Kingdom and specifically talking about toppings today. I'm going to be going over my personal best 3 sets and the ones that I think that you should be focusing on, which substats are going to be good as well to look out for depending on what type of content you are covering. And last but not least, we're going to talk about what stages are the best to grind out these topping sets. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Alrighty, so now diving into some of the topping sets individually here, we're going to start off with Searing Raspberries, alright? Searing Raspberries, along with other toppings in the game, keep in mind that there are going to be set bonuses, as you can see down here, so keep an eye out on that depending on which topping set you're looking to run, and if you are looking to do like a combined set, somebody like Sea Fairy set, then you want to make sure you're utilizing whichever one you can get the set bonus from. So to give you an example here, Searing Raspberries, when you equip 3 of them, you are going to get an additional 3% attack on top of whatever the stats and substats are on that topping. Same thing goes for when you equip a total of 5, you're going to get a bonus of 5% attack. So just keep that in mind when you are selecting toppings. Some sets do have bonuses, and you want to make sure that you are taking advantage of as many bonuses as you possibly can via those sets. With that being said, though, Searing Raspberries here is going to be specifically designed for DPS cookies or damage dealing cookies in the game. If you have a cookie that is pretty much just putting out raw damage over and over again, somebody like Squid Ink, then obviously running a Searing Raspberry set is perfect for that. Same thing goes for somebody like Vampire, somebody like, Sorbet Shark, things like that, where your whole goal for that cookie is to do as much damage as possible. Searing Raspberries is going to be the best option. And then the next set I want to talk about, and that's going to be the Solid Almond set. The Solid Almond set is going to be a damage resistant set. Keep in mind, as you can see down here, you only get a set bonus when you equip a total of 5. That's very important. That's very important because if you do want to take advantage of that additional 5% damage resistance from the set, you have to equip all 5. So this does not really pair well with a combination set. It does in the sense of you can take advantage of just the flat damage resistance or the substat that is on this topping piece, but you cannot get that 5% additional damage resistance. So that is something, to keep in mind. But speaking on damage resistance here, it's going to be ideally the best topping of choice for tanks and even some of the frontline units that are chargers. Somebody like Dark Choco, for instance, he's going to be benefiting a heap from using damage resistance because it just allows him to take less damage. And with him being in the front line, he's going to take a mega ton of damage. Same thing goes for like Hollyberry. Running Solid Almonds on her, very, very good option. She's going to soak in a ton of damage, especially because her skill makes the enemies pretty much focus her. So instead of her, dying really, really fast with other toppings of choice, obviously running a damage resistance is going to benefit you. Same thing goes for those substats and everything. Anything that you can add to her tankiness for substats is going to benefit her in general. Next one up that we want to discuss, and that's going to be the Swift Chocolate set. Now, the Swift Chocolate set is very unique. It's a very unique set because it's not so much just damage dealers or so much just supports or so much just healing. It's kind of all over the board. A lot of different cookies utilize a cooldown Swift Chocolate set. It really depends on their skill, and I think what it boils down to is that if their skill has something to offer or something that you want to be applied more often, somebody like, for instance, Sea Fairy, where, yeah, she does a ton of damage, but you're also getting that 5 enemies stun, so because of that, using Swift Chocolates is going to benefit you there because you want to utilize that skill more often for some reason. Same thing goes for somebody like Pure Vanilla. Running a cooldown set on Pure Vanilla outside of the PvP arena is a good option because you want to utilize his shields and utilize his healing as much as possible, and that happens on popping his skill. Therefore, reducing the cooldown directly on when he can use his skill is going to be beneficial. Same thing goes for like Parfait or somebody that, offers some sort of, ability or a side ability on top of utilizing their damage via their skill. So now officially jumping in here and taking a look at some substats in which 3 are going to be the best. I happen to find this lucky Searing Raspberry that I had on Sorbet Shark, but check this out. So this is a Searing Raspberry, so this is going to be an attack percent, but here are the best 3 substats in my opinion to focus on. We've got cooldown reduction, we've got attack percent, and then we've got additional damage resistance. So it kind of falls in line with the best 3 toppings of choice to use across all of the cookies in the game, but these substats in my opinion are the most important, man. If you can happen to get lucky just like this Searing Raspberry here and pull all 3 of those substats, this is what you are looking for. This is the best of the best set that you can possibly get if you happen to get cooldown, attack, and damage resistance on one of those 3 sets, whether it's damage resistance, cooldown set or your attack percent via the Searing Raspberry sets. These are the three that you are absolutely looking for the most. However, there are some additional substats that we need to discuss and talk about, and that is going to be taking a look at this screen here. We've got a whole bunch of other substats here. We've got attack, HP, crit percent, amplify, buff, defense, attack speed. We've got crit resistance and debuff resistance. So in my opinion, there's going to be some additional ones that we should focus on, especially when it comes to different types of content in the game. For give you guys an example, debuff resistance is very, very good in the PvP arena. What exactly does it do, you might ask? Because myself, I was really confused when I first ever thought about it. Anyways, I thought, oh, this means it makes my cookies resistant to getting debuffs applied to them. And that's not the case. It's actually different here at Cookie Run Kingdom. So debuff resistance actually reduces the amount of time a debuff affects you, not being applied to you, because you can still get hit with a debuff like a poison or like a defense break or like a stun. Those are all debuffs and they last for so long, like a duration. With that being said, if you stack debuff resistance on your cookies, it will then reduce the amount of time that debuff is in effect. So for instance, if Sea Fairy pops their stun on you for a total of 3 seconds or 5 seconds, let's say, then all of a sudden you're stacking debuff resistance on that cookie specifically. That cookie, it might only last 1.5 seconds for that stun. So again, it's absolutely really good. It's a game changer when it comes to PvP arena, but you also have to try to still focus in on getting the additional attack, damage resistance, and cooldown on top of getting some debuff resistance. So if you just happen to miss out on, like, let's say a damage resistance stat or a additional attack stat, but you happen to get a cooldown damage resistance and a debuff resistance, it's still not a bad topping. It can definitely be used, but you just got to, play it by ear. Another really good one here is going to be the crit resistance substat. Again, catering to the overall arena, the crit resistance is very, very good, especially when you're going up against like some burst damage dealing comps. So things like your almond comps, your BR almond comps, your burst like Tiger Lily stun comps, things like that, that really play on just as soon as the match starting, getting in there, getting the first rotation of their skills off to hopefully inevitably kill half your team or all of your team, so then they can just clean it up for the rest of the match. Having crit resistance is going to benefit you in that realm because it's going to hopefully not allow your cookies to take a critical hit, and that's huge for some of those burst teams to get that full wipe and full clear in the arena. So again, very, very good option here. Last but not least, I want to mention for the additional substats, and that's going to be the attack speed. I would highly invite you guys to join the Discord link provided down below. Talk to Cello the God, okay? I'm going to just call him out right here in this video. The man is a wizard when it comes to attack speed. He builds attack speed comps. He's very, very good at what he does with attack speed. I myself, I've not really catered too much into the attack speed realm. Essentially, attack speed only affects the normal basic attack that your cookies do that are chipping away, and it affects the casting time it takes. So basically that hesitation, for instance, on like Vampire's skill, where you pop his skill, he's got like a slight hesitation before it actually, takes an effect. That attack speed will actually increase that. So again, Cello the God in my Discord, link provided down below. Go chat with him if you are interested in attack speed comps, because he knows everything about attack speed, but I still wanted to put it here because it is a very good one, especially in the PvP arena. So just to do a quick recap on that, when it comes to substats, the top 3 to focus on are going to be attack percent, cooldown reduction, and damage resistance. Outside of that, there are a couple additional substats that you could obviously pick up and utilize when it comes to like the overall PvP arena. And then the last thing I want to mention here is that if you are a new player in the game and you are just unlocking epic toppings via like episode 6 in the story mode or the world exploration mode, then I would advise just equip whatever you can. Focus on completing topping sets and not so much of completing individual substats and mid-maxing your account. Mid-maxing, I would say, comes more like mid-game or late game when you're like stuck in the story mode, you can't cover anything, maybe you're stuck at a certain tier in the PvP arena. Then I would say it's time to go back to your cookies toppings and then really mid-max those stats and grind out some toppings so then you can level them up, partially and do all that fun stuff. Alrighty, so now officially jumping in here and talking about the best stages to grind for the toppings. That's going to bring us to my personal favorite, and that's going to be 829. I know a lot of players grind out this stage as well, and it's for a good reason, because not only can you get Searing Raspberries and Solid Almonds from this stage, because that's going to be 2 out of the best 3 topping sets that we just talked about earlier in the video, but also you're going to be getting some of those defense powders, and then you're going to be getting a ton of other resources with only the ability of getting 2 rare toppings on top of it. So you have a higher chance essentially to get these 2 epics because they offer them in the exact same stage. Like I said, arguably the best stage to run for these 2 Searing Raspberries and the Solid Almonds. Now, You might be asking yourself, but Kodeations, I can't clear 829. And if that is the case and you're newer to the game, maybe you're a starting account, whatever it is, once you get past episode 6, I highly invite you to just grind out whatever the highest stage is that you can clear that offers that topping of choice. Each stage offers different toppings, so if I go to like 828, you can see the two epics here obviously swap to something different. 827, once again, they swap to something different. I go down to 826, you get the idea here, right? No matter what stage that we're currently covering, right now, it does not matter. They offer some sort of epic topping past episode 6. So just grind out whatever the highest stage is that offers that topping that you were looking for until you can get to something like 829. Because like I said, it offers the most value when it comes to the stamina spent, in my opinion, for grinding out searing raspberries and solid almonds to be 2 out of those 3 most important topping pieces. Now, as far as when it comes to swift chocolates and focusing in on grinding swift chocolates, unfortunately, it never pairs with searing raspberry or solid almond in any stage in any episode across the game. And with that being said, there's not a best way to grind out swift chocolates. You just inevitably need to grind out whatever the highest stage that you can clear in whatever the highest episode that you can run in order to grind it out, because obviously naturally as you go through the higher level episodes, you're going to be getting more experience, more gold, and like I said, have a higher chance of getting whatever the epic toppings are on those stages. So it's, again, like I said, recommended grinding out swift chocolates. Just grind them out at whatever the highest stage that you can clear that offers that topping. Alrighty, and then now talking about the next thing and last thing we're going to cover in today's video, and that is going to be topping pieces. I see a lot of players, especially new players, diving into the game for the very first time, and they just are trying to figure out where to get more topping pieces and, you know, to level up their other toppings and all that jazz. Well, if we hop over here to a cookie and check out the topping section, there's a menu and something that I think is really, really crucial to know. That's going to be the breakdown menu. When you click the breakdown menu, let's use the filter option here, and we're going to turn off epics, all right? Because we're not going to break down any epics, and I advise you players not to break down epic toppings until you have an abundance of them. And what I mean by that is until every one of your cookies that you're using on your main team has all epic sets, and you've got an additional set or 2 of each other epic topping, then I would say at that point you can start breaking down epic toppings. But until then, I would not touch your epic toppings. What I would advise to do is only get in here, do the filter, turn off of epics, leave rares and commons on. It does not matter which sets you want to focus on. You could get even more down to it, and you could just turn off, you know, the raspberries, the solid almonds, and then the swift chocolates if you don't want to break those down, because maybe your account is early enough and you are still using some of those rare toppings. But at the end of the day, do your filtering. Once you get all of your filtering done, you can see all it's going to do is select the rares and common toppings that I currently have available to break down, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to select all of them. Once we select all of them, you can see we've got 276 toppings that we're going to break down right now with you guys in the video, and you can see it's going to award us 411 topping pieces, which is huge. So absolutely probably the best way to get topping pieces in the game. We're going to go ahead and break them down. Boom, our number went up by 400. Again, very, very easy way to do this, but that's going to be the best way to get topping pieces. And then there's a couple of other additional ways to get some, and the first one is going to be the Fountain of Abundance. Just from grinding out the game all day long, letting it do its idle thing, getting here and claiming it, you can see that it does award topping pieces right here. Again, they're not going to be a whole lot. They're not going to be giving you 400 in a day like breaking down toppings. Instead, it's just going to be a couple here and there. Same thing goes for like your Balloon Expedition. Anything above stage 6 and above will give you topping pieces along with epic toppings, so another very easy way to do that. And I believe the train also has the ability to give you individual topping pieces. Yeah, right here. So you can see that also has the ability to give you topping pieces. And then just like I said, from grinding out the individual stages in the world exploration also will give you topping pieces. But I just wanted to include this in today's video because I see a lot of players struggling with that and have asked where to get them. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully that gives you guys a better understanding on the topping sets to focus on, substats to focus on, and then what stages in the game to grind them out. Stay tuned here on the channel. I will be dropping another topping video here in the next coming days, going a little bit more in depth on which toppings to actually focus on for which cookies, and not only that, talking about some combination sets that are also very beneficial for specific cookies. As always, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord link provided down below, guys. It is there. We've got over 2,500 players, I think, over there that all play Cookie Run Kingdom, always looking to help out new and upcoming players. And as always, I will see you guys on the next one.